Besides Kamala Harris, I don't I don't know many other like Black and Indian people.
I think there's a lot of racism within Indian culture against the Black community.
Yeah.
But now people are getting empowered, saying, look, Mom, if you want to be a part of my life, you're gonna have to deal with this. And Mom's like, oh my God, I don't want to lose my kid. Okay, let's go to E40 concert. Like, I will learn your culture.
How Indians and South Asians will talk about prejudice they experience by white people and then turn around and take that same discriminatory energy and use it against Black people. I know it happens. I grew up hearing it. So let's talk about how you are so eager to fit in that you would rather appease those who oppress you than support other oppressed groups. You know what that smells like? Desperation for acceptance. And the sad part is, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you work to blend in, you will still be seen as an other.
I'm happy that like Indians are now seeing like what we've been telling them for so long. Like, you are not part of the white supremacist party. Like, you can be conservative, you can have money, you can be successful. They will let you get to a certain level. But the second Vivek Ramaswamy said, hey, I think I should be president, all of a sudden, all we see is like unfettered racism towards Indian people. The whole factory ethics lady is probably responding to more posts about Indians and how they smell than any other group. And it's literally because Indians tried to adopt conservative politics. Indians are now facing more racism because they tried to go to the racist party and do what they do. And those racist people said, oh my God, I'm going to be racist to you now.
Oh, it's really bad in the South Asian community. The racism towards Black people is unbelievable, how they're viewed.
Oh yeah, it's really bad. I have had brown women, Indian women, tell me that they would never date a Black man. They would never bring home a Black man. They just don't date Black people. I've had Black Indians, because they exist, dark Indians tell me that the way they're treated in India is disgusting. Disgusting. And they're literally called the untouchables. Often forget that Indian people, South Asian people, have a caste system. We had a receptionist at my workplace who was a Black woman. She was pregnant. And this Indian girl literally told her to use the public washroom, a pregnant Black woman, so she can use the one that was dedicated to our salon. Yeah.
Dark skin is, unfortunately, it's the biggest irony, to be honest, when you see colorism in India, because, if you really want to argue, then you can say that, well, actually, they are the original Indians, right? The darker skinned Indians are the original Indians. But unfortunately, it is something that, people look down on. Anti-blackness, for that reason, is an issue in India. And, if you're dark-skinned, you're called the word Kala, which means black. So, yeah, it's quite shameful, to be honest.
Family, right now a conversation is unfolding that many Black people have experienced privately but are only now beginning to speak about publicly. The issue of anti-blackness within certain Indian and Indian American spaces is being brought into the spotlight, and it's creating tension, discomfort, and even strong reactions across the board. Now, for years, some Black Americans have shared their experiences of feeling stereotyped, judged, or even distanced from by other minority communities, including segments of the Indian community. These experiences include subtle behaviors like social exclusion, assumptions about intelligence or behavior, and preference for proximity to whiteness, as well as more direct expressions of bias. And what makes this moment different is that some individuals within the Indian American community are beginning to acknowledge that these issues really exist. They are speaking about cultural conditioning, about colorism, and about the ways certain ideas about blackness have been passed down or even normalized without being questioned. And once those conversations enter the public space, they cannot be ignored, family. And so anti-blackness is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it shows up in silence, in avoidance, in who is accepted and who is not. And sometimes it shows up in jokes, in stereotypes, or in the way success and beauty are defined. And when those patterns repeat over time, family, they create real division between communities that are already navigating their own struggles within a larger racial system. One of the most difficult parts of this conversation is that it challenges a narrative many people are really comfortable with, the idea that all minority groups naturally understand and support each other. And so the reality is more complicated, family. Different communities can experience discrimination while others also holding bias, and while others are holding biases against others. And acknowledging that truth requires honesty, family. It requires stepping away from defensiveness and being willing to examine uncomfortable realities. And at the same time, family, it is important to recognize that no group is a monolith. There are many Indian Americans who actively challenge anti-blackness, who build relationships across communities, and who speak out against discrimination in all forms. But when multiple voices begin to point out similar patterns of bias, family, it signals that there is something deeper that needs to be addressed. And what we are seeing now is a clash between perception and lived experience. And on one side, family, there are those who feel unfairly generalized or attacked. And on the other, there are those who feel that their experiences are finally being validated. And in the middle of that tension, family, is a question that cannot be avoided. What responsibility do communities have to confront about harmful attitudes within themselves? Because conversations like this are not just about calling people out, they are about understanding how these attitudes are formed and how they can be unlearned. And history, media representation, colonial influence, and even social hierarchies all play in a role in shaping how different groups see each other. But recognizing those influences does not excuse harmful behavior, family. It simply provides context for why change is really necessary. And so the reality is that anti-blackness has global roots. It has been reinforced over time through systems that ranked people based on race, on appearance, and even perceived proximity to power. And those ideas did not stay in one place, family. They spread, they adapted, and became embedded in different cultures in different ways. And that is why conversations like this are not isolated incidents. They are part of a larger pattern that continues to show up in different forms. And so the question now is, what happens next? Will this moment lead to meaningful reflection and change, or will it turn into another cycle of denial and division? Because real progress does not come from avoiding difficult conversations. It comes from engaging with them honestly. And it comes from listening, from acknowledging harm, and from making a conscious effort to do better. And that is what makes this moment so important, family. It is not just about what is being said, it's about whether people are willing to hear it.